So what is ours? So the money or this claims that it's me, I am doing this. So this is actually not true. So we are actually not the doers. So we are not the doers. So we are actually just following the material nature, and we are just acting according to the material nature. And this material nature is actually an energy of Krishna. So whatever actions we are doing, it's actually not that I am the doer. This false ego, that's what that comes in this shloka that says that the spirit soul bewildered by the influence of false ego. False ego means what? False ego means that I am this body, I am the CEO of the company, I am a scientist, or I am that particular head of the department, I am this particular president of the country, or so on and so forth. So this is the false identification of ourselves, and this is not the true ego. This is a false ego. This is called as the false ego. And once we think that we are this body and we do certain activities based on this body, we don't understand that who is actually sitting inside this body, the spirit soul. What is consciousness? And who is supplying this energy? Where did the consciousness, where did the spirit soul come from? Where did the energy come from? So many people claim that energy is coming from the food we eat. But even the biologists, I'm from biology, so it's very clear that even in biology, the mitochondria only converts energy. The mitochondria does not produce energy; it only converts energy. The chemical energy that is in the food is converted to energy which we can use for lifting the hand, for dancing, for sitting, for thinking. For the neurons to fire, it needs ATP, and this is produced by the mitochondria. So there is no science which actually says, even biology says, that we produce energy. We just convert energy from the food we eat. There is an inherent energy in every place, in every object, and even this karta has an inherent energy. You drop it, I don't want to drop it, this is Balramji. But this has an inherent energy, and that is the potential energy and the kinetic energy, and then that produces the effect. When it falls on the ground, this inherent energy is converted into friction and then the heat energy. So there is an inherent energy in everything, and what we see is just a conversion of energy. So keeping the science aside, so we are actually not the doers. So we have to keep in mind that this is applicable also for me. I'm sitting here and then I'm giving a big lecture, but this is the first lecture for me actually. I should realize that I am not the doer. So it is so that identification, that wrong identification that I am doing it. No, we have to think beyond that. That who am I? Where am I getting the source, the energy, the intelligence, the ability to do it? So there is so that is why there is one acharya called as Sripad Madhvacharya. So he's one of the acharyas in our disciplic succession. He actually, in his commentary on this shloka, he says, there's a big shloka, but he says this is a very nice phrase for us to remember. Every step that we do, we put our step, and we need to realize, okay, what is that? Nāham karta hari karta. He says there is a big shloka, but Nāham karta hari karta. This is something that we can always meditate upon. Whenever you are climbing a bus, I'm climbing the bus, I scan the ticket. But this money belongs to Krishna. Nāham karta hari karta. Hari gave me this. This is the Krishna consciousness. This is not a material consciousness. I caught the bus. I got into the bus. I put my foot in the bus. Who gave me the energy to put my foot in the bus? Nāham karta hari karta. So, like that, every single step. Okay, we came to the temple. Nice. But who gave us the motivation? Yes, we had the desire to come to the temple. But many of you are here to come to the temple from a long way, and in this cold weather and so on. And we have to, I will go to the temple. No. Nāham karta hari karta. Because that Hari was sitting in our heart, he just fulfilled our desire. He gave us the energy. He gave us the motivation. There are many people in Sweden. Everyone comes here to the temple. No. Right? So, we come to the temple. Why? Because it's not me who is coming to the temple. It's that Hari who is sitting in my heart as Super Soul, as Paramatma, inspiring me to come to the temple. giving me the energy, giving me the motivation to come to the temple. So this, I'm just saying about few examples, but this is applicable to many different things. Every day process, whether you eat, whether you go to sleep, whether you even wake up in the morning. There are many people who go to sleep but they don't wake up in the morning. So we wake up in the morning, we are able to do some activity, we are able to do the chanting. Everything we have to remember, Nāham karta, Hari is doing it, not me. So of course we can, the full shloka goes like this when he writes this shloka. I am not the doer, Sri Hari is the doer. All the activities that I do are his worship. Even then, the worship I do is through his grace and not otherwise. That devotion and the fruits of the action that come to me are due to his recurring grace. So every moment we have to remember that, this is a very important shloka, that it's not just for hearing it once and then pack the bags, go home, forget. No. When we eat the food, when we do everyday activities, every moment we can think of this, meditate on this. Nāham karta, Hari karta. I am not the doer, Krishna is the doer. It's just that this material energy is the one through which Krishna is helping me to do these activities, like that. So that is one part of the thing, that we have to come out of this false ego that I did. We have to be in Krishna consciousness, not in the material consciousness. This is a material body. So this body didn't do much. It's just this is just an instrument. This is just an instrument for doing the sadhana. This is just, in Hindi we say sadhan. This is a sadhan, instrument for doing sadhana. Okay. So that is one part of this. The second part of this is that I'm now waiting for a small question, very important question. That what is something conflicting here? Something is conflicting. Nāham karta, Hari karta, okay, fine, but there is something I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for a question. Yes, Mataji.
So how is it that there is karma if Hari is doing everything?
This is a very nice question. This, I will address it. This also comes. There is one more question. I will address this one as well. Anyone? Almost there? No? Shikha Mataji, maybe?
You give us a clue?
Yes. Someone does something wrong. Someone murders.
Yeah, that is also doer.
Yeah. Clever, right? I will murder someone and say, Nāham karta, Hari karta. Arrest, Hari, go arrest. I don't care. It's not my responsibility. I didn't kill. Hari killed. Yes. So, no. We have to understand this very clearly. So, even not just we, even Arjuna had this question, actually. In the same chapter, third chapter of the Karma Yoga chapter. So, in 36, Arjuna asked this question: why is one impelled to do sinful acts? Why is one impelled to do sinful acts? When you say, Nāham karta, Hari karta, or Krishna is the doer, I am not the doer, and so on. So, Arjuna is asking, why does one do sinful acts? So, the answer, Krishna then replies in the 37th, it is lust only, Arjuna, which is born in contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath or anger, and which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of the world. So lust, this is the one major thing that makes us to do these bad activities, whether it is theft or stealing money from someone or stealing some other's property. Ishavasyam, so we need to just take our quota and then be quiet, but no, we sometimes get into others' quota and steal others' quota. So it could be others' property, others' money. So all these kinds of desires and these inclinations to do something bad. Krishna is saying that all these are actually coming from the main source is lust. Lust is, just to give an explanation, lust is actually not just an attraction between man and woman. Lust is, the deeper meaning of lust is that it is extreme desire to have something. Extreme desire, violent desire to have something. This is lust, excessive attachment and excessive desire to have something. So this is the lust. And how does lust arise? So if we have to fight this, we need to know where does it arise. We need to know where it arises from. Then only we can solve the problem, right? So for that, in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, there are two shlokas, 62 and 63. They go like this: Dhyayato vishayan kumsam sangastesho pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bijayate. So when we actually meditate upon dhyayato vishayan, some material things, I will think about my pride, I will think about being attached to my degree or my pride or money or someone else's property or so on, which are these vishaya which are not related to Krishna. They are material vishaya. Then when one contemplates and constantly keeps in this consciousness, material consciousness, then this person is more and more engaged in the sense gratification. I want to satisfy my senses. I am greedy for whatever, this reason, and so on. And this person slowly, dhyayato vishayan pumsam sangastesho pajayate, then he slowly associates with these instruments. It could be money, and he will associate with people who have money so that he can get money. He will associate with people who are very proud of themselves, motivational speakers, who are extreme motivational speakers, who are just not motivating you to have a happy life, but to have a greedily happy life. So this person slowly starts associating sangastesho pajayate. Sangat sanjayate kamaha. From this sangha, from this association with these material objects of material sense gratification, this person, the lust, the kama arises in this person. Kama. Then from this kama arises the anger. From kama, from this lust arises the anger because they might fear losing it. Okay. And from this, the next shloka goes like this: Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibhramat, smriti bhramshat buddhinashat pranashyati. Means from this anger, complete delusion occurs. They are completely deluded, because when you are angry, we cannot even sometimes make a decision. So they say that when you are angry, just sit in one place, count 1 to 10. In my childhood, my parents, and when I was super angry all the time in my childhood, they used to say, just when you get angry, just sit 1, 2, 3, like this. They used to say, just sit and count numbers or something. Because in anger, we can just speak some words that can hurt someone. In anger, we can do some activities which many people have now end up in prisons, because that one moment of anger that deluded their brain, they couldn't make a decision, and that from the anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. What is the memory? They would have learnt in their schooling, they would have learnt in their family that killing someone is bad, or hurting someone is bad, or theft is bad. They would have learnt it, but this memory is lost because there is anger, bewilderment of memory. And when memory is bewildered, that they don't understand what is their dharma, what is their position, who am I am the soul, and so on, then the real intelligence is lost. Buddhi nashat pranashyati. And the real intelligence or the buddhi is lost, and once the intelligence or the buddhi is lost, then they don't know what is the connection between me and Lord. They don't know who am I, they don't know what they are doing, and then they lose the connection, and then there is no way that they have a steady mind. They go mad. Exactly. So they don't have the steady mind. And Krishna says, when there is no steady mind, then there is no peace. And when there is no peace, there is no happiness. And when this person who is actually more and more inclined and associated with the material world and the lusty desires, this person has no peace and no happiness, and there is no way for him to come out and engage himself in spiritual activities. So this person would get slowly lost in the process. So, this is very detailed, step-by-step process, but the main reason for that is one is not attached to Krishna, one is attached to material desires, and that leads to all these kinds of different issues. And that is what Krishna is saying, that it is by lust only, Arjuna, that this is then transformed into wrath or anger, which is the all-devouring sinful enemy of this world. And this lust, kama, krodha, and then lobha, moha, or lust, anger, lobha is greedy, moha is pride, and moha is excessive attachment, and then mada is pride, excessive pride, and mada and matsaya is envy. Envy can be of different things. So envy can be on a particular person who is more superior to them. Envy can also be against Krishna. Envy can be against devotees. Envy can be against someone who is your colleague. So slowly like this, and all the actions performed through this is actually these are the ones that Krishna terms as sinful. These are the sinful, and these are the enemies of the world. And for Lajjoti Mataji's question, just to answer, so actions done with these sinful intentions, with these kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, they are the one which are actually resulting in certain bad karmas. So it is our inclination to do something wrong because of our lust, because of our excessive attachment to something material, that makes us to do certain activities which are impious, bad karma or papa karma. And on the other hand, there could also be some people who can do punya karma. So they are not necessarily Krishna conscious. They might help someone. They might feel pity against someone, who is an old person. Maybe they are struggling to walk on the snow, and maybe they go and help them. This is a good karma. So this is also a very good intention, and at least it's better to be on this platform and attain a bit better karma rather than someone is struggling and from the back just go and push him. So this person falls down and breaks his leg or something. So instead of doing that, it's better to help, of course. But in the Karma Yoga chapters, there are these different aspects described of the karma. So it's depending on the actions that we do. So it's not just that Krishna is doing it, but we also have to be conscious that we are in contact with the mode of goodness or passion or ignorance. And based on these different modes of actions, modes of material nature, we do certain activities. And these activities will bound us in the activities of karma. So, and even for, did I answer the question or?
Yes, of course. I just have one little thing.
Yep.
Srila Prabhupada said that conditioned soul is, there is practically no freedom. We are very much controlled by the modes of nature, but there is still freedom. We always have some freedom. And that freedom is desire. This is the quality of the soul, which is manifesting even in the material world. And according to the desire, we become sheltered by modes of ignorance, passion, goodness, whatever.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Yes. So as Jyoti Mataji was saying, this desire, this is our only property. We don't have any other property. Nothing technically belongs to us. So this that is why I come to the third part of the lecture. So how do we come out of this loop? So firstly, to understand that I am the soul, I'm not this body, and then this recipe or the remedy for coming out of this excessive attachment and lusty. These things are mentioned in the last shloka of the Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, where Krishna says that first you need to understand that I am the soul, you are the soul, to Arjuna, he says, and then pursue the knowledge of the soul, jnana, and then you control the mind, control the senses, and then you desire for something which is spiritual, as Jyoti Mataji was saying. So then the desire is not something material, it is not for the lust or envy or anger or greed, or it is not just to remain in this material platform, because we are not this material body. We need to not aim to just be in a better Swargaloka or maybe in higher planetary systems and so on, because there is always a risk that more and more and more punya we do, the more and more we go to the higher planets, but all these 14 planetary systems are still in the material world, in the material plane. When our pious credits are done, we come back to this material world. So this is very dangerous. So that is why our desires should not be material. Our desires should be akarma, means not no karma. Akarma, many people give an interpretation as no karma. It's not no karma. It is an activity which does not result in any karma. It is Bhagavad karma. It is the one which gives us the spiritual credit points. It is not material credit points. It is not plus point or minus point. It's not zero either. It's a point which we get in spiritual credits, which will keep accumulating in our progress towards getting out of this material world. So, and in the 7th chapter, Krishna gives another recipe for this. That this is the last thing that I want to say. That he says, "Daivihi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya, mam eva ye prapadyanti mayam etam tarantite." Means this divine energy of mind, Krishna says. So this material modes of nature, this material guna that we see, that goodness, passion, or ignorance, through which we do all these either sinful activities or certain good karma and so on, all these are energies of Krishna only. All these are energies of Krishna only. And we should not get entangled in this. And Krishna says that Daivihi esha guna mai, this is my maya. This is kind of an illusion. This is my illusion. Daivihi esha guna mai mama maya duratyaya. It is very difficult to come out of this illusion. Mam eva ye prapadyante. When you surrender unto me, Krishna says, not to me, not Srinatha Acyuta Prabhu. When you surrender to Krishna, when you surrender to me, Krishna says, we should not surrender to some random persons. Authorized disciplic succession, authorized guru from Krishna, Krishna himself. So we need to surrender to these authorized devotees of Krishna and so on. And then when we surrender to Krishna, Mayam etam tarantite. Taranti, get rid. You will be out of this. And Krishna will help you to get out of this material world, get out of this illusion. So even if we have to get liberated, even if we have to get out of this material world, Nāham karta hari karta. Even for getting out of this material world, it's actually not possible by my efforts. We can do certain aspects, but we have first surrender to Krishna, and that is the basic necessity. And that surrender to Krishna comes from the inner desire that I want to love Krishna. I want to surrender to Krishna. And this surrender is not like one day process. It can happen, of course. When Prabhupada was asked how long does it take to surrender, because he was doing this, I think the 18th chapter shloka. What is this shloka? A very famous one. Sarvadharman parityajya mahamekam sharanam vraja. So he was saying this shloka, and then how long does it take to sharana, to surrender? Prabhupada like, just a moment. Today I want to surrender to Krishna. I understood that I am not the doer. Surrender to Krishna. This just takes one moment. And then when we surrender to Krishna, Krishna helps us. He says, I will protect my devotees with my divine energy. He says that I am going to protect them. I am going to help them advance. I am going to help them come out. So surrender to Krishna to make it more practical, because surrender, it's a big word, to make it simple, just to simplify. I was hearing another lecture from one of the speakers here. He was saying 3S, the process of 3 S's. 1 S is sadhu sangha, associate with devotees who actually can give you the message of spirituality and help advance ourselves and help surrender, because they are surrendered. So we will know how to be surrendered. Devotee association is very important. This is not just for spiritual life. Even people who are doing in army, they have to be with the army guys. They have to be with the army guys to wake up in the morning, to have a sadhana, to have a gym, to go to the gym, to practice, to have that inspiration to protect the country, to have that zeal and enthusiasm to fight, be a kshatriya, true kshatriya. So like that, this association is very important. The second S is the seva. Do some seva to Krishna, do some seva to Guru. Even just washing the floor is a seva. And washing the pots in the kitchen is a seva. And Matajis are doing here wonderful wicks for the ghee wicks for the wheaties. This is a seva. And Matajis there are arranged in the paraphernalia, seva. So everything we need to do seva to the Lord. Cooking in the kitchen. So they were wonderful cooks today in the kitchen. So cooking for the Lord, that is seva. So like that. And then the third S, one is the sadhu sangha, second one is the seva, and the third one is sadhana. So we have to do certain sadhana. Just like an army guy in the morning, he has to go to the gym, he has to run for 20 kilometers to keep himself fit. Because in the war-like situation, they need to go for hundreds of kilometers. 20 kilometers is nothing for them. Okay, so they have to practice every day. And they have to do their sadhana. So we have to use this material body, this sadhan, this instrument, use this instrument to do the sadhana. And that instrument that sadhana could be in different ways. It could be by chanting, reading the scriptures, reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam every day, trying to understand about this spiritual consciousness, about Krishna, asking questions. I have some doubts, Prabhu. Can I ask you? I have some clarifications needed. Yes, that is also important. And learning, so jnana, and doing some activities and thinking, desiring for Krishna's knowledge, thinking of Krishna, and understanding this whole process of Krishna consciousness, and prasadam, having prasadam every day. That's also a sadhana. And coming to the temple at Sundays, and hearing the katha from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. This is also sadhana. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave a very simple process also, which is chanting. He gave Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chanting certain rounds. If you are not chanting, start with one round. Just start with one round. It's just 108 rounds and 108 times of this mantra. It doesn't take long. It just takes like 7 minutes, 8 minutes. You can start with chanting. This is a sadhana. And our heart gets purified, and slowly and steadily we can get progress into spirituality. And that's how we can get out of this sinful acts that we are doing, and then we will slowly realize ourselves that Nāham karta hari karta. So we can slowly get step by step higher and higher in this platform. So yeah, this is a very detailed topic. If we have to go into the complete details, it can take even 3 hours to say this. But I will stop here. If you have any questions, or if I made any mistakes, so please forgive me. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to take the questions.
I have a little comment, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, maybe I
Once,
was wrong.
Srila Prabhupada, he went for a morning walk with the devotees, and one man also came with them, and Srila Prabhupada was asking him, what is your profession? What are you doing? I am making glass. It's a factory. He was making glass. And Srila Prabhupada was asking, what are the basic substances to make glass? So he sand, and he was telling those things. And then Prabhupada turned to him and he said, so you're a thief? And the devotee said, no, Srila Prabhupada, he's a good person, he's giving donations, he's supporting us. He said, you are just a little thief, a small thief. So they're illustrating the point about everything actually belongs to Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, thank you very much. Yes, Shripa Mataji.
Yeah. You know that we are not the doers, but how do we remind ourselves at every moment? Because now when I leave this place and when I go to the material world again, right, like tomorrow office, right, go back to your work, and then you are surrounded by so many people that are trying to put you down in some or the other manner. So how do you remind yourself that I don't have to copy them, I have to like keep myself aloof from them, but still do my duty.
Yeah.
And remind myself as well that I am not the doer, whatever I am doing at work as well. So it's very difficult. Like for me, I know this fact, but still it's, yeah.
Yeah, this is actually, that's how the material world is. So we are constantly engaged in these activities. So even when I go to the office, I basically forget about Krishna. So this is how the material world works. So, but we should not be in this mood actually. So we have to try to elevate ourselves. So we have to remember. So whenever I'm doing some research or something doesn't work, then I immediately, oh no, wait, this is Krishna who is doing it. It's not my research. It's not that I am doing this research and exploring something. So if something didn't work, then I just, okay, fine, this was a reminder for me. So Krishna just didn't want to reveal this information to me. So like that we need to keep reminding ourselves in somehow one or the other way that that whatever that we are doing, whatever actions we are doing, we have to somehow remember Krishna. I think when we come in more contact with devotees and get nourished and also do the chanting and so on. So every morning we start with the chanting, we start with Bhagavatam and so on. So that will help us keep our consciousness for the whole day somehow in better Krishna consciousness. So that will help us think of Hari most of the time. So at least for me, what has helped is when I do this, at least in the morning until maybe noon or something, it somehow remains. And then by noon, things can go a bit like I get too involved. But there are days when when I read really something beautiful, or maybe I did something wonderful in the morning, that this really helped me to keep it for the whole day. So like that, there are activities like that. I mean, these are some practical things that we have to associate with devotees. We have to do certain sadhana, and we have to constantly, inherently, we need to think of Krishna, and so on. So this was my practical example. I don't know, Mataji, maybe there are better.
There was Radhanath Swami once, one Mataji asked same question, how to remember about Krishna, and he said that if you do your morning program like reading Bhagavatam, chanting Hare Krishna, then you have a chance to remember. Otherwise, you don't have a chance.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
There's also one little thing about remembering Krishna. It's very much a matter of developing one's love for Krishna by practicing devotional service, by being in contact with devotees, because we realize how Krishna is helping us, and we become grateful. And we understand, oh, I'm actually very much dependent on Krishna's mercy and Krishna's blessings. And we understand, and we start seeing how they are coming, and we become grateful, and we can remember. And there is one, there's Narayani Mataji, once Srila Prabhupada's disciple visiting here, and she was advising us that one can, in the morning or in the evening, once a day, one can write down on a piece of paper the words of gratitude towards the Lord. We start actually using our intelligence, understanding what actually Krishna helped me with today, what would happen nice. And then we develop more and more this feeling of gratitude, and actually it becomes then afterwards such a permanent realization that I'm completely dependent on Krishna's mercy at every moment. And, so.
Okay, yeah, no more questions, so I think, so thank you very much everyone for your patient listening. Now we will continue with our program. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki.
Prabhuji, Mataji had a question.
Oh yeah. It's fine, Mataji, you can.
I'm sorry. I've always actually more as like a comment,
Yeah.
Comments. I'm sorry. Extra lecture, please forgive me. I'm competing with you now.
No.
But I got some inspiration. Premamai Mataji was asking actually now about this desire, what Srila Prabhupada mentioned about that the only freedom we have is our desire. Thank you. And how is it that, how was your question actually?
That is it really that our desire, that we own the desire? Because sometimes we are dependent, like our desire is dependent upon our association, for example. We develop desires according to if we are conscious about our desires, and like that. But if we are not conscious, then we just develop same desires that our association have.
Yeah, I just kind of remembered that in regard to what Srila Prabhupada said, that this is the only freedom, our desire. But when the soul comes to the material world, it's like a punishment actually. We become so ignorant that we have we don't have the contact with the desire of the soul. And the desire is there, but it's projected in the modes of material nature. But in our prolonged existence, Krishna becomes merciful to us, and somehow or another, by extremely good fortune, we come in contact with devotees of Krishna, or with Krishna himself in his pastime. Somehow or another, we get a spiritual touch, and then the seed of bhakti becomes planted in our heart. This is like a desire to serve Krishna, desire to surrender. This is the same thing actually. Yeah. So then we start little by little cultivating these spiritual desires and become out of this material conditioning. From Nitya Badha we become Nitya Siddha. We become little by little from eternally conditioned we become liberated. Yeah. But we can sometimes misuse this desire also. It's just like, that's why it's so individual. How quickly we go back to Godhead, it's so individual upon each and every soul. It just depends how we cultivate that seed of bhakti which we all have received.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, now we can have the next program. Thank you very much.